Hello and welcome to the channel all about economic board games. Today I'm going to be giving you a run through of a game called Mombasa, and we've got the designer up here, Alexander Pfister. We've got the publishers here, and this game typically takes 75 to 150 minutes. It's more like 90 minutes to 2 hours plus, and it plays 2 to 4 players. Now, I did an overview last week if you want a shorter video to give you the spice and flavour of what this game is all about. And as a run through, typically I am just doing this on my own, and today I'll be representing or playing as 2 players. We've got the yellows and the blues here. Now, to begin with, this game is all about acquiring shares of chartered companies. You can see there's 4 companies around the board in various parts of Africa, and we are trying to acquire shares. We're building trading posts across the continent itself. Now, there is a kind of darker theme behind this game, which the rules does kind of address and gives you a bit of history if you wanted to go and check that out. But essentially it says it's a strategy game with an economic focus that roughly refers to historical categories and places them in a fictional setting, as the exploitation of African continental people is not explicitly depicted within the gameplay. So the undercurrent of the game, I guess, is rather dark for the era of colonization, but it kind of doesn't really come across too detailed or gory as you're playing. Now, we have the setup of yellows at the top here, and this is where they will be utilising their hand of cards, which is kind of key in this game. I'll not give you a full rules overview because I'll be here for a while, but essentially this is where they're keeping track of their diamond investment. This is their bookkeeping, and they'll progress and get more points as you go along. This is where you play your action cards, and they'll funnel up to the top in a kind of linear path. On the board then, this is where you'll be exploring with your trading posts and taking advantage of bonuses on the board. You've got the market here where you're acquiring goods and increasing the cards in your hand as well. You've got the actual chartered companies themselves where you'll be taking off these houses and putting them on here as you go along, and hoping to reveal coins which increase the value of your company you're invested in. And to keep track of your investment in those companies is on these tracks on the side. So this one's for Cape Town, then you've got Mombasa, you've got St. Louis, and you've got Cairo for there. So as you increase up here, you're going to get shares, which represent at the end of the game there. We've also got some places you can kind of go and place your workers, shall we say, and there's actions to be had there. Now, this is a very large game, so it's a table hog. I can't quite fit everything in, so you might not be able to see the actions just at the top there, and also there's a couple of cards at the bottom here, which actions that will come into play, but I'll show you those throughout the game as they're used. And I've got kind of a stash of money just hiding below the camera, and I've got this really handy player turn order and kind of explains what to do as well. So I'm going to kick off with blues, and in a 2-player game they've got these 3 tokens. The setup, you'll have a little card distributed depending on if you're first or second player, and in this case the blues have moved 3 on Mombasa, so that's why they're ahead. And it kind of tells you that you're going to be starting with these cards: a 2 banana, a 2 expansion, and a 1. So that's kind of the initial setup at the top, and you get this book here to begin with, which I'll go through shortly. And let's start by the actions we can do then. So this is called the planning phase, and everyone does this simultaneously. Now, obviously I'm acting as 2 players, so bear with me. Hopefully I won't make any glaring errors. So each player places a card face down in his action area. So that's these 3 slots at the bottom, which are blue. You can acquire more spots as you go along the game. So if you get to this point here in the diamond track, you can get use of this extra action here, and if you get up to this spot here on the bookkeeping, you get use of this spot. So potentially 5 actions you may be able to do or combine. So let's do that then. So we're looking at this player's cards. There's 10 to begin with, 3 of them at the top, and one of them is actually distributed as a number, which is this one here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's number 1. There's 1 to 4 of them, and they get distributed to give a bit of an asymmetrical start. It's very clever how the designers figured out who starts with what and what cards are in each person's hand. It baffles me. But so these guys then, we are probably looking to, let's try out expanding into the continent. So I'm looking for these cards then, and this shows an expansion number of 2. You can see the blue just represents its starting card, and this little number 2 at the bottom is the crate value if I was to trade that card in at some point. So I'm going to put that one on this slot, and there is madness to, well, there is reason as to why you put cards in certain spots, which will kind of make sense as I go throughout the video. We're also going to maybe put a bananas here, and we'll go for some coffee. I'm not really going to think too hard. So this hand of cards, you basically use any card you want, and once they've been activated up here, they come down. There's also a discard pile as well. So yeah, we've used those. And these guys, let's see what they're thinking about doing. So I'm not going to play competitively. I'm just going to kind of hopefully go through most of the main actions. So let's say they focus on the market this turn. So they're going to go for 2 coffee. Let's get some more coffee. And let's go for some bananas. And let's put those back there. And that was literally the planning phase. So everyone simultaneously has placed their cards face down in the action slots. Actually, I've put them face up just to... Let's just show you what would happen in a real game. So they'd be face down, so you can't see really what your opponents are planning to do. Then B, it's everyone turns them face up. So you've committed to this, and you can't change your actions. Now we are into the general action phase. So you go clockwise, and you do 1 action each of a selection of them. So first one is you could use 1 or more cards of 1 type of good. So again, I'll demonstrate that with these guys. And let's start with the starting player. We're going to show you expansion, so you can use all of your expansion cards to expand 1 company. Now we've got a value of 2 here, because these are actions. Ignore those for now, that's kind of what comes into play later. So we've got a value of 2, and we could maybe try and acquire more expansion cards, if there's any really to use here. I don't think there is. No, we could acquire stuff for later on, but we'll just show you how this one works. So they're going to spend these 2 expansion. Now, with the expansion option, if you had several of them, say if there was a 2 here and this was 1, you'd have to use them all at once. In this case, we've got a 2, so we're going to look at 1 company where you can only pick 1. We're going to say have an invested interest in Mombasa, because that's kind of where we're advancing to. And that means we're going to be looking at this section here. Cairo's there, the St. Louis and Cape Town. So we're going to take one of the houses there, and for each expansion point you have to go past these sort of lines. So you can see to go straight ahead there's 2 lines, so we're going to have to pay 2 expansion points, which is fine. We've got 2 to spend. If we want to go this side, we're going to have to spend 1 to get through there, or 1 to get in here. Now you start off adjacent to your company house, should we call it, and then from then on you can expand to either your company house or an adjacent one to where these trading houses are. So let's say we are going to go here, and you kind of tilt it to show you've not used the action yet. That's cost us 1 expansion point, and we're going to choose the same column. We don't have to, we could choose another column. We're going to choose the same one, and we're going to go through that 1 line. So that's 2 expansion points spent. We turn that over to show we've done that. We can now do our actions. Now, if there was, let's say Orange had a company house there, you could still go in there, but you'd need 1 extra expansion point to oust this one. So if you did have 3 expansion points, you'd spend the additional one to kick that out, and that goes back on one of these columns. So we're going to do the the bonuses now. On this one, we're going to get 2 coins. That's great. A bit of money will come in handy later. And this one, so you've got a book point and you've got a movement on a share. I believe it's a movement on the one you're on. Let's do that. I might be wrong on that, but so we've moved up 1. And the book points then. So at the top here, you've got all these coins that will come into play after round 1. So this is how we dictate, how we understand which round it is, and it goes all the way up to round 7. You've got the A's, B's and C's, and you can see that the costs above them of purchasing these. So you need a bookkeeping value of 1 and 2 for the C's, and there's several piles at the top, so these will get replenished at the end of the round, I think it is. Fill up the card display on the game board, move coins, and might actually be instantaneous, I'm not sure. I'll look in the rules on that one shortly. So that's where you get these books, and they will fill up on your bookkeeping section of your player board. So we're going to spend, we've increased the 1 on the Mombasa track, and we're going to take, so what you're kind of looking for on these is you've got the good, and to be able to pass it, you need those cards and you get the bonus. So do we have a chance of getting free coffee? Or do we want to go for something? I think we'll go for this one. So we're going to need 2 expansion points and 1 banana to pass this on a future turn. So we put it here. You can put it on any of these, with the exception if it says you can't put an A there. But anywhere else you can put an A, or you can put a B or a C on those ones that say you can't put an A. So we're going to go for that. And I'll kind of show you what that's all about later. But for now, we've bought 1, and we're going to replenish that with an A. So we've done our action there, and we've got our coins. So that was blue's go. Over to yellow then. And they're going to show you this general action where you're using cards to buy a card. So in this case, they have got, you choose 1 good, 1 type of good. So we've got coffee. You don't have to use, both cards in this case. You could just use the 2 if you wanted to. And we're going to combine them for a value of 3, just so we can buy potentially something better. So now we're looking at the marketplace, and we are looking, most importantly, at these red numbers. And the cards have red numbers themselves, and also the fixed spot will have a +1. So if you're looking to get cards over here, it's going to cost you 3 + 3 is 6, which is a lot higher. Now the deck itself compromises of A's that's come out, and then you've got some B's, and then there's C's, D's and E's in there. Some cards will have shares as you go through the game, which is crucial because, well, that's how you want to multiply your points at the end. Some have various benefits, like you can be this diamond sort of merchant. Some of these help you with bookkeeping. Others are just purely goods, which will flow into your hand and help you do more later on, kind of engine building there. So we've got free coffee. We're going to use those we'll spend them, and we're going to buy something of value of 3. Let's go for cotton. We've got quite a bit of cotton. So we'll go for these bananas. So you can see this is going to be a value of 2 plus the 1. We have paid for that one. That goes into our hand. Now you could have spent 2 to buy this one, so 2 and 0, and the additional 1 you could have used that to move up on any of these companies, your share value on the side. So I could have moved this at 1 or whatever it may be. Well, you could have even just spent all 3 of the value to do 1 there, 2 here, etc. on any of those company chart boards. You leave that, and you don't replenish that just yet. So that was there you go, and that was the buying of a good. We've done the expansion cards. So bookkeeper card then. No one's actually got a bookkeeper card, but what we will do is go down to the place a marker spot. So it's over to blue. Now they could place their marker on any of these kind of circle spots here, or if you look around the side of the boards, you can see some of them, not that one, have got these sort of indentations where you can use it to do the action below. And is there any more? Yeah, it's a couple here and a couple at the top as well. If you wanted to use those, you can use those ones actually. You put it on there to get plus the 2. So we're going to go to this one, and hopefully try and show you how the bookkeeper action works on a previous turn. So we have placed it there, and no one else can go there. You pay, or you do whatever it says underneath. So we're going to pay 2 coins to the bank, and we're going to get this bonus card here, which is one-time use on our next turn, and we don't actually take it just yet, otherwise we'll confuse ourselves and think we've got it. But I'll kind of go through that when it happens on the next go. So over to the yellows then, and let's show you, well, we haven't got a diamond merchant. Let's show you, you know what, we're gonna, there's so many options to do in this game, and you can only base it on what cards you've currently got available. So I think we're just going to spend the 1 banana to go up on one of these tracks, and let's focus on this one here, Cape Town. That's kind of where we started off, and you can see currently we're at the 1 point. So we've attained 1 share, which you don't actually get, but at the end of the game you're going to get multipliers, and blue have acquired the 1 share there as well. So back over to the blues, and they've got this starting player token as well. You all start with 1 coin if I didn't say so. Now we're going to show you what these maximum actions do. If they go to the coffee one, as long as they've got the most coffee at that particular time out of all the players face up, they can activate that one. And in this case, the value of 2, you can see 1, 3 or 5 and plus, so they're in this first category. The 1 plus means they can move 2 on Cairo. So that's at the top here. And they still get to have this card. You don't use it. It's just a kind of, if you meet the criteria, you can complete that. But that was their go. And you can see as you go further up, you get to do the little bonus action there, which is move one of these off the board, or you can get more movement on that particular share. Over to yellows. Now, they haven't got any actions left here, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's over for them. They could use these 3 tokens to potentially, well, they can't do any maxes because they've kind of used their cards, and the clever thing would have been to not use these just yet and then maximize them on some of these, because there's some nice benefits. Maybe they can't afford this -2 because they've only got 1 coin. They could take start player on a future turn. They'll probably do that, yep, because this start player will stay with blue until someone else goes to the spot. They also get 1 bookkeeping token, and I am probably going to go for the cotton and the bananas. So you can see they meet the requirements. They can put that on here. They're going to just put it there, and we replenish that with an A. Over to blues, they've got a choice of 2 goods and 1 of these tokens, so maybe they want to quickly nip out to here because they know that the yellows are going to be potentially using them. So what else have we got then? So we've got the starting player token. You can nab that, which I'll do in a moment. You can spend a coin to buy 1 of these goods with just money. So you could spend 4 money here rather than the goods. This one, you can discard a card from your hand, I believe, and you get the value of the traded goods. So say this one 2, plus the 2 would give you 4 coins. Pretty handy. You've got these maximum ones, which have kind of shown you on that one, and these are just the different goods. This one you pay a coin and you get this +1 here, which you'd add for 1 round only onto the bottom, and it'd give you +1 of that particular good of your choice. You've got this one, which is the bookkeeping one, which I'll be showing you in a minute. We've got the diamond merchant, which I'll show you shortly, and you've got the added expansion, which is kind of nice, gives you 2 extra on that one. So that's kind of all the actions, and round the board I'll go through them now. That gives you +1 expansion, +2. This one at the bottom, if you can just about see it, will give you, you can use multiple goods to buy something and you get 1 reduction. You get -1 from the bananas if you're using those. You get movement on your diamond track and movement on your book track, and the same here, but which one you pick is your choice. At the top, you can discard a card and you can get the money +3. So that was kind of the same as this one. But on this one, I really like the second option. If you manage to get that far up, you get the value. So in this case, 2 if you got rid of this one, +8 coins. So 10 coins is massive. And the coins are actually victory points at the end of the game as well. So I think I was on blue, and I kind of got excited detailing all the actions. And blue, oh, did we use that coffee? I think, no, we didn't, because we went there. We're going to, well, we know that they can't maximise on any of the bananas, for example, for that one. So we're going to use the 2. And are we going to buy anything? Let's go and buy this one. So the 2 plus the 0, that's fine. We've met the requirements, goes in our hand. We turn that over to say we've used that. Over to yellows, and they are going to spend... well, they haven't got many coins to be doing that one. You know what, we'll just say they're done. So when you're done, you go into you end your own action phase. So first off, you would pick up one of your resting decks. So basically, this is the importance now. You get to pick up one of these, what should we say, columns. Let's just say they go for this one now. It's a bit pants to begin with because there's only one card there, but as you go throughout the game, they're going to develop and there's going to be more cards. So we place that on our hand, and then we flip the used cards directly above. So these go up here, and you kind of stash them so you can see what goods you've got. And that's that. And you can see now, when we come to this stage next time, it's a bit of a choice as to whether you're going to go and want the coffee and the cotton, or you're going to want those or these. And so that's kind of what that's all about. Over to blue then. So yellows are kind of out of this now. It's up to blue. They've got this 1 banana, so they're going to go and maximise the bananas. They've got, oh, actually, it's not really worth it because you need 2 plus, so they can't do that one. Let's just spend this 1 banana to go up on a track. So you're trying to keep up with your opponents, especially the 2-player game. In a 3-4 player game, there's so much more going on, and it's real competitive as to, you know, certain cards you want to get quickly, and you want to have, there's a lot more going on the actual continent itself, and certain places here you want to maximize first as well. So they are just going to call it a day as well. They're going to pick the bananas here, and they're going to move these directly above. Now everyone's finished their turns, and we head into the preparation phase. So first you move the coins from the round track. So we've done round 1. This kind of helps us show what round's going on. So in a 2-player game, there's only 6 coins. On a 3-4 player game, there's more coins, and they fill up these bottom ones as well. It's kind of an incentive to take that, and you get the coin. And you can see it's now into round 2. We then fill up the card display. So these go like this. And we then have got a stash of cards here, and it kind of says you have to start from the top working down. So that's replenished. And then we take back the bonus markers. So this is where you change hands. So yellow is now going to get the starting player token. Blue is going to be getting this extra bookkeeping card, which we kind of just keep down here on the side for now. And that doesn't actually get them anything. So everyone's got their bonus markers, and then we go back to the planning phase. So it's going to be starting with the yellows. Again, this is simultaneous, so it doesn't really matter. And we're probably thinking what have we shown you? So we've shown you the purchasing of goods from the market. We've shown you the expansion, the bookkeeper card. So that was going to be the blues. So these guys, if we've got a diamond merchant, which we haven't, maybe they could do with some money. How can they get money? If they get loads of goods, let's go and do some expansion. Hopefully get some money now. Obviously I can only just about fit this whole game into the camera view, so it's a little bit cluttered here, but let's just assume there's a divide here. So we're going to go for loads of bananas. Now again, we have to be mindful as to where we put them, because they're going to be going directly above. And currently I'm kind of got, well, my bananas are split, but let's just say that wasn't bananas. I'd have a 1 and a 2 bananas on the next round up there, and if I need bananas, I'm going to have to take that one. So are you going to go for a bit of a mixture, or are you going to focus all, you know, coffee in this line, so you've got loads of coffee on a future turn? So that kind of helps to think what you want to do on future goes. So that's yellow, and again, those would be face down, but just for sake's sake, I'm going to leave it face up. And these guys, so they're going to go for this bookkeeping card, and they're going to get some They've got loads of cotton, so we're just going to go a bit mad on cotton this time. Okay, there we go. So yeah, these will be face down. They've turned them face up over to the general action phase, starting with yellows. Now, they're going to utilise the bananas maximum to begin with. Well, they don't have to rush into that because they can see their opponent, in this case, has no bananas. Maybe they want to do the expansion one first so they can then use the expansion points. Or do... is there anything clever? We'll just do that. So we go over to here. We have the maximum because our opponent hasn't got them. So we're going to get... we have got 2+. We're going to get 2 movement on Mombasa. So 2 up here. We get a coin as well. Yeah, we did need money, so that's worked out okay. We don't turn anything over to blues. They've got max cotton, so they're just going to get that one out of the way. And they've got 4 in this case. So they are going to move 3 on St. Louis, which is over here. And looking at this, there's a little remove a house sign. You can take a chartered house. I believe it's off any of them. But don't quote me on that, but I'm just going to take one off the whites anyway. So we take one of these, and I believe that's just out of the game. And we're over to yellows. So they're now going to spend these expansion points. So they've got 2, and they are thinking, let's go for... well, they're kind of leading the reds here, so we're going to do some reds. Well, we need money, actually. But equally, you don't want to just base it on what bonuses there are, because you want to push the companies you're doing better at, and at the moment yellows are better on the Cape Town track. So with that in mind, we're just going to stick with red. So we're going to put this one here, and you can see there's 1 line, so that's costing them 1 expansion point, and they did have 2 in this case. So we could move another one. Now again, you can take it off any column. So we can either move it to this one, there's a boundary of 1, and get 2 bookkeepings, which we're not too fussed about. I'm just going to show you, well, that would be the better move because you're going to get 2, but I'm just going to show you that you could move to this one because you've got this one here, so it's adjacent, so we can move into there for 1, which we'll do just to show you. I know I can get more there, but I'm maybe wanting to try to get to the middle because there's better bonuses hiding around here. So we are now going to do the actions. So this one is going to move as 1 on the diamond track, and this was yellows, I think it was. So you can see we've now moved 1 up on here, and as you get further, you can see if you pass this, you get 10 points, 15, and it goes all the way up to 60 points. And if you get past this one, you're going to get to use this action spot. So that's how you move the diamonds. We're also going to get to move 1 on the share track. We'll just move on the reds. I did say I'd look in the rules, actually. I'm assuming you can use that action on any of the companies, but let's just do it on red. So we've used that one, and we're going to get 1 bookkeeping point as well for the yellows. Now we're kind of stuck to bananas and cotton at the moment. We've got some bananas there, so we'll try and stick to the same theme. But we've only got the 1 mine, so we can only get some of these. Let's just go for the 3 bananas. And hopefully that'll become apparent why I've done that. Actually, ignore that. I'm just going to go all out for the money because there's a sneaky coin up here I've just spotted. So we're taking the coin, and we're going to replenish that with an A. Okay, yellows are done. Over to these guys. So let's... we're going to do this bookkeeping one. Let's just do it. So what we're going to do here then. Now, bear in mind, we've actually got the 2 of them, which foolishly, I don't think they complement each other. I think I just get to do the same action twice. So that's a bit annoying, but let's show you what it does then. So you work from the top down. You can pay 2 coins to turn over one of these books. So let's just say I didn't really like this one. I could turn over, but it's kind of not something you want to be doing often because coins are very rare in this game. And annoyingly, I've made a right cock up here because I needed coffee. Right, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to go right back to the beginning and just assume I had, just for your sake, otherwise I'll be here forever, let's just assume I'd had a coffee out here. And this is the card we're going to be doing, this action right now. So you can pay 2 coins to flip a book, and the only difference here is that compared to the card in your hand, is that you only get to move it, you only get one bookkeeping point rather than the two. So not a biggie. So we're doing this action. We're not going to flip any of them. For number one, we haven't actually got the money to do so, but we don't really want to. And we are now going to move our bookkeeping inkwell as far as we can go, as long as we can meet the requirements. So we need to pass this first book, 1 cotton and 1 coffee. So we have loads of cotton, and we do now have the 1 coffee. So we can either stay there or pass it. We preferably would like to go as far as we can, because you kind of, this action, you don't want to be doing it again and again and again, but in this case I haven't really planned too well, and we can't go any further because we haven't got the requirements. We haven't got 2 expansion points, and we haven't got the banana. Now let's just say that was a cotton and it was a coffee bean again. That's fine, you could go on, because you don't add these up cumulatively. You just meet those requirements and then you carry on, and if you keep meeting the requirements, you just carry on. In this case, we're kind of stuck here, and we get the bonus at the bottom, which is a coin. So we put the coin, and that's where we've stopped. Now you can see we're hoping to get past this 10-point mark, 15, 20, and it goes all the way up to 60. So we've used this, we just turn it upside down, and we do actually get the 1 bookkeeping point, and there's no coins left on there. And we're going to go for this. Oh, are we going to go for that one? We've got the 1. We're going to go for this one, and it means we're going to need 2 expansion points and 2 coffee on a future turn. Remember, that's on an A, so that's fine. And that was that. That's how you do bookkeeping. And that's their go down over to yellow. So they've got all these bananas, and they're going to go over here to maximise the banana one. And they've got 4, so they're going to move 3 on Cape Town. So 1, 2, 3. Now they've passed this point here, so they're going to get a coin. And if anyone else passes that point, they get a coin, and any player who's advanced past will get a coin as well, which is nice. And more importantly, these guys get to utilise this action here. So on a future turn, they might put this one here, and it shows they can take advantage of this spot. Now, I'm just looking at the board. I think I might be mistaken. I'm just going to check the rules actually, because I'm wondering whether that is a continuous bonus, because I've just noticed that on some of the others there's irrelevant of that. I think I'm mistaken that circle, whereas these here represent places you can go, whereas to me that looks like a continuous bonus. Each time you acquire a card, yes, so that is a continuous bonus where permanent, yeah, okay, so ignore what I said earlier. How these work then, so once you pass this or this spot, you have continually got the bonuses there, and the same here, yellow can now get a reduction of -1 bananas when they use bananas to buy things, whereas these ones, you can see there's this bigger circle. That's where you physically have to take one of your tokens and do the cost to get the benefit, and the same at the top there. So we've got to the bottom of that one. So yellows have done something. Yep, they moved up here 3 places on Cape Town, and they're also going to get a movement on the diamond track. So they are now 2 spots ahead. Over to blues. They've got a lot of cotton. They've already done that, so now they feel comfortable they can spend them. And where do they want to advance? So let's go on this one, the St. Louis. So 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to get a coin from the bank for getting there, and they now have the option to go here on future turns. And they've used their 4 cotton. Now they could have used 2 cotton on here, 2 there, 1 on each. There's variety, but there's their go down over to these guys. So they've got these 4 bananas, which, did I actually spend? No, I didn't. I got the 4. I got the movement from there. So we will spend these 4. And we could buy good actually. Keep forgetting about the marketplace. Let's do that. So we're looking at where they are doing well. So Cape Town, you can see there's a share here for Cairo, but no one's really advanced much on Cairo yet. But these are so valuable, folks. I can't reiterate that enough, because there's only so many of them in the game, and you can see that these tracks only go up to 6 and 9. Well, 9 is the maximum. So if you're not edging that far up there, those will really help you with your multiplier at the end. But can we afford them? Let's go for 1 here then. We'll pay the 4, so the 2 plus the 2, and that was yellows, I believe. Yep, so that goes in their hand. And what does it actually do as well? Well, it's an expansion card. Over to blues, who are now going to utilise this spot. So they pay 2 coins to the bank, and they can do either one of these. So they're going to go for the diamonds in the book. So they're going to move 2 up on the diamonds, and they're going to get 1 book point. It looks like I forgot to replenish that one. And they are looking at this. They've gone really heavy on the bookkeeping, these guys. So what have we got? We'll try and stick to the expansion points if possible. And the coffee. Let's go with, let's just go with that one. So A is replenished. Over to yellow. So they've got no more cards. They've just got one of these left. What are they going to do? Do they want to get one of these for next time? Maybe I'll just go and get the diamond merchant to show you what that one does. So they pay the 2 money straight away, but they don't get the card just yet. Over to blues. They've got 1 left here. Oh, they are actually max on here. 1 plus gets them 2 movement on Kyra. So, and now they go back to yellow, who doesn't have the option to do anything. So they're going to finish their turn by taking one of these columns, and they are going to go for this one here. So that goes in the hand. These go at the top. So you can see how the middle column is building up nicely. And I think that's the end of their go. Yeah, over to these guys. So they've got 1 left here. They've got no tokens. They're going to spend this 1 coffee. Let's go up here on Cairo, because that now gets them a coin, and they've also got the option to do this action, which is discard the card from their hand, and they can get more coins for doing so. And that is, yellows are done, blues are done. Over to the preparation phase. So move the coins from the round track. So this is going to go down here. We're now in round 3. We fill up the card display, so not many were purchased, so we move that one sideways, and then we take the bonus markers back. So that one is going to get yellow, the diamond merchant, which we'll try and keep out of the way. These don't do anything. No one took the starting player, and this one, which was used this round, now goes back. Over, so yellows are still starting players, and I'll do 1 more round for you. So we're going to look at our cards. These guys, let's see if they can move the diamonds. You know what, we're going to go all out on expansion. We're going to go boom. And these guys, oh, I actually forgot to do the end of their go as well. So they're going to take, so they're looking at this thinking, right, that 2 coffee would be handy, but then they need those expansion. So you can see the dilemma they're in now, because say they really wanted to focus on the bookkeeping, yep, they might have well, you're looking at your hand here, you can see they've got the bananas to achieve that. They haven't got any expansion cards, but they haven't equally got any coffee, so they couldn't achieve the whole run because they're in different columns at the moment. So you can see how the planning of that affects it. So they're just going to go for the expansion cards for now, because that helps them move 1 spot, and then these 3 are going to go at the top. So you can see how important that is. And these guys are going to go for bananas because they want to achieve that. But they're also going to put this expansion card in the column where the coffee is, because it's going to be used for this one, okay, but on the next turn they want their expansion card and the coffee, so they want to make sure they're both in the same pile. And because we're going expansion, we're just going to add another one there as well. Okay, again, those would have been face down, and then they would have been turned face up. Over to yellow. So they can see these guys have got a lot of expansion as well, just coincidentally they've got 4, but these have got 5, so they're going to use that now to go to the max spot. And you can see 4 plus gets them 3 on Mombasa, 1, 2, 3, which they overtake the blues, and they also get a coin as well. Over to blues. So they are going to do this one whilst they have the cards available. Saying that, I haven't actually put this card down. So they're not got the ability to do the bookkeeper movement. So you can see how easy it is to get sucked into getting the resources and then realising you haven't even got the card to play the action. So in hindsight, I would have probably put that one instead of there, so I would have had the goods and I would have done that. And again, I'm going to break all the rules and I'm just going to do it because the whole point of this video is to show you how this game works in depth rather than me just having a good jolly old time. So we're going to do this action then, and we can see using this card we have the choice again to pay 2 to move, well, to turn one of these over, and we're not going to do that. We're now going to move our inkwell. We have the requirements to do this. We've got the 2 expansion and we've got more than enough for the bananas. We can't go any further because we haven't actually got the coffee, which is a shame because we would have liked to get past this 10 point on the future turn. So we're going to stay there. We are going to get 1 diamond movement for that. This card also allows us the 2 bookkeeping points, and we can't choose an A for this one. We could take an A still and put it somewhere ahead of ourselves. We're gonna go, we've got 2 points, so we might as well go for one of these nice juicy C's. Let's go for this one, and we're going to put that there. Over to yellows, they're going to go mental on expansion points now, and I don't need to spend one of them. So they've got 5 and they have to use them all at once. Yellows are kind of dominating Kyra, so they're going to continue to do so. So they could, don't know, is it really worth going all the way in there? Let's show it 1, 2, 3. They haven't got enough to go and oust them guys. Let's just go 1, 2. Well, you could either pay 2 and then you get in here, but you can actually see there's no bonus in there. Or if we go 1 in here, 2 in there, 3, it's going to be the same equivalent, isn't it? And then if we went in here, it'd be 1, 2, then 3, and then 4. Well, we could oust these guys. Let's have a go at doing that then. So we're going to spend 1, 2 to get in here. We're going to turn that upside down. We're then going to spend a 3rd to get in here. We're then going to spend a 4th to get in here, and we're going to spend the 5th to oust those because it costs us 1 to oust. Hopefully I've done that right. So we've spent all 5, and then we do the actions. So starting here, we can do them in any order we want. Let's take the money first, and this was reds, wasn't it? No, this was yellows. Yeah, yellows, okay. So yellows have done that one, and they're going to kick these guys out, and they could fill up any column here, and you have to fill it up as far back as you can. Now, just taking a look at these, you can see that as you go all the way further down, if you finally get to this 2-pointer, you can never cover that back up and then have to start from there. And the reason these having these coins visible is important because that's the value of this chartered company. At the end of the game, it's going to be a multiplier of how many coins there are, the value of it, times how many shares you've managed to acquire, including the cards. So we're going to put 1 back here, which is hindering our opponents. But frustratingly, we're actually doing well on yellows as well. So again, a strategic mistake for myself. But that's ousted them. We've got the money. We're then going to move 1 on here, and let's just go with these guys. We're then going to get 1 of those, and we're just going to take 1 of them to speed things up. And that is yellows done. So you can see how they're starting to really expand out there. They've got 4 coins showing currently, which is great when they come to their points. Over to blue, and they're going to do the bananas for 2. Actually, they don't spend that one. It's just so blue is going to get 2 movement on Cape Town. Yellows are going to use this diamond merchant, so they get 2 movement on their diamonds, and they're getting close to passing that 10. And they get to move 1 extra for any diamond merchant they would have had additionally, which you can acquire throughout the game. You can see there's 1 here as well, and they don't have any more, so that's used. Over to blues, they're going to spend the 2 bananas to move up on. So they're thinking, let's keep up with our opponents. Maybe they want to overtake these guys, and they're going to then go to these. So they're going to go let's just assume, yep, they want to do nothing else. And there's got to be something we can do as yellows. They've only passed this option here. We're going to call it there for them because I don't want to delay this too much. Over to these guys, 2 expansion. They are going to move the blacks out so they can go there for 1, get a coin. Let's just say yellows have nothing left to do. They're going to take this massive pile in the middle. They're going to put these over here. And the blues, let's just say they've got nothing else to do as well. They could go up here, discard a card and get some money. They could take starting player. Let's just say they do that. So they'll be taking starting player. And then yellows are done. Blues are going to take these into their hand, move these to the top. And I am going to call it there, folks. So end of preparation, you'd move that coin down. We're into round 4. No one's bought any market goods there. And you take the bonus tokens back. So yellow and blue, the starting player would start. So the game will, the main battle in the game will, you'll see a lot going on here in terms of people bringing out their company houses, and that's key because, as I've already kind of explained, the more you get out, the more these coins become visible, and that's crucial because if you're heavily invested in Mombasa, you want that, and as opponents you want to be taking over their territories to push them back and cover the coins. But equally there can be strange scenarios where you were heavily pushing Mombasa, but then someone else has managed to catch up. So say blues had been really heavily, digressing across the board, but then yellows have managed to overtake, and it's like, well, do I really want to continue to do that? And now my strategy might be to push Cairo. So you've got this flux and flow of which companies you're investing in. Or you're going to go solely for one, but then you might find that you're missing out on the benefits of some of these other companies. Or do you want to keep up with the Joneses and kind of stay stalemate and stick near your opponent? So there's a lot of back and forth as to what you're going to do there. You also can't really achieve everything. You might go to marketplace a few times and develop your hand, but if you do that so much, yes, you might have this amazing hand, but you're not actually able to use it in terms of using these 5 action spots, because you really want to push your diamond merchant up and get across this option here, so you're getting more points plus the option to do that extra spot. And you want to be working on your bookkeeping because it's valuable and it gets that extra spot as well. So you know, in any game you ever play, more workers or more actions is definitely better because it builds your engine. So a lot to think about there. Now in terms of how the game ends, once you've gone through round 7, after round 7 you're going to be looking at this the points. So you're going to get points for your money, so tally up your money. You then go company by company, so you start with Mombasa here. So let's just say yellow's got to here. You can see they're past the 2 mark, haven't quite got to 3. Obviously, they'd be way higher up here. I've only just finished it abruptly. But so they'd have 2 plus any shares they had in their hands. So looking at yellow, they take back all their cards. And if they do have any of these ones, which in this case is Cairo, but let's just assume that was Mombasa, you would add it on. So 2 plus the 1, it would be 3, and you'd multiply that by how many coins are visible. So 3 times 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 times 5 is 15 points for Mombasa. And you do the same for all the 4 chart companies. You then look at your diamond track and you can see they've passed, well, I'd only moved it on to show you what's going on, but in this case 15 points for that. You'd see where their bookwell is, which is nowhere in this case. You do that for your opponent, all the opponents, and see who the winner is. And that is pretty much the game, folks. You've got it's a complex one. There's a lot to remember and a lot of fiddly things in terms of the intricacies of how these cards come out, how the chart companies and the rules as to taking over things. There's quite a bit of iconography and trying to remember. You've seen as I've been playing how I've mistakenly thought that was, well, I didn't realize that was ongoing, but we now do. But once you get through that and you've had 2 or 3 games, it's an absolutely marvelous game of back and forth and trying to figure out that strategy. You think you're on a path and then someone's really bolstering their diamond track and you're so jealous as they're getting up here to 50, etc., and you're like, well, what am I doing? And all of a sudden it just comes together. So a lot of really nice actions. I like these additional ones as well. They really add flavor to the game.